You're listening to a Whales Are Whales production.
You're also listening to Whales.
Visit whalesorewhales.com for more projects and shows like this one.
Greetings.
Howdy, and welcome to Hearthaholics, a Hearthstone strategy podcast about sitting back, chatting with friends, and figuring out how to be more awesome at this game. I am your host, Bryan, and joining me today are the two hosts that always join me, one of which is Billy. Hello, Billy. How are you feeling?
I am feeling wonderful and
cold?
Sorry?
And cold?
Yes, very cold, because Australia doesn't know what its weather wants to be, and it's painful, but I'm enjoying my week. Lots of E3 stuff happening, and then obviously lots of Hearthstone stuff happening as well.
Do you think you will survive until the end of the week? That is the
I
Australian
question. I hope I do. I need to see the end of E3, but I don't know. Frostbite's a real thing.
Indeed. You know what else is a real thing? Is Andres. Hello, Andres. How are you doing?
Hey, Bryan. I am real, and I am here.
That's great.
I am super excited this week. I don't know if it seems like such a fresh new week.
I know.
All new announcements, new heroes, new modes, E3. I don't know. It just feels like a little tingling this week.
Yeah, the air is abuzz. I'm getting one person Skyping me in all caps that The Last Guardian has been announced at the Sony press conference, but I don't know whether to actually believe him because he is a guy who would troll me. So, yes, we are not watching the Sony press conference as we record this. So Billy and I are just sitting here in tense anticipation, even though neither of us own PS4s.
Yeah, but there's always PC stuff
announced. Hearthstone is coming to PlayStation Vita. That would be awesome, you know?
Hearthstone is coming to PlayStation Vita?
I'm making that up.
Oh, I was
if I can't watch the Sony press conference, I'm going to make up what's going on. Gosh darn it.
No, the real shocker would be Hearthstone coming to 3DS, because it would be the first thing 3DS has ever led on there ever.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. It would fit pretty well, though. 3D effects and all the gold cards and stuff. That would look really good.
Yeah.
Except I'd never play it on the 3DS, but we can ignore that fact.
You're welcome. What's his name? Nintendo. Yeah, those people. You're welcome. Get in contact with Blizzard.
I don't know. Even they're releasing games on the iPhone now, so I'm not sure. I think they've thrown in the towel there a little bit.
That's a bit annoying.
So yeah, as was mentioned, there are new heroes out now. So before we jump into our main topics here, what do you guys think of those?
They look pretty cool.
They're very beautiful. I feel I need to buy every single one of them, which I'm going to buy every single one of them. That's just a thing that's going to happen. Yeah. But I don't know. I want them all now, and I don't have them all now, and it's frustrating to me.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings. My wallet doesn't want me to buy them, but the collectionist in me really does. And especially, I was just going through some of the news in here, and apparently the new collection manager has the little slot for your card backs where you can select them. But here's the thing. It also shows the ones you don't have, and they're grayed out. And
I know. That is so mean.
I just cannot live with that. You open the thing and you see the grayed spot in there, and you just I don't know. For me, I have to fill it out. I don't want to be missing it.
All right, Andres, here's what you do. Every time you see a gray spot, just think, wow, that's $10 in my wallet right now that I just earned $10 extra.
That's a good way of saying it. So every gray spot is worth $10 to me, technically.
Yeah, it's actually giving you money. It's
wow, I actually have a lot of money if you see it that way.
Exactly.
I don't like that. I don't like them graying out the ones you don't have because there's just ones you can't obtain. The Samsung ones on there. Let's say,
or the Tespa.
Yeah, the Tespa.
It's the ultimate. It's the ultimate crafting mode, having it always open for your card backs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of a bummer.
I wonder if down the line they'll make the card backs craftable, for a lot of dust or something.
That would be actually really interesting. I highly doubt it. I would assume they'd make
50,000 dust for Tespa card back confirmed. That would be insane.
You would do it.
Well, I don't think I would. That's a lot of money.
Maybe they can be selective, right? Like some of the promotional ones and special ones cannot be crafted. But
I don't even want to think how much that golden Chinese one would be.
Yeah. But like for the people that maybe didn't get into the game since the beginning and they missed some of the months or something like that, maybe they can craft those.
Yeah, I'd appreciate.
That's true. The problem is the people who get into the game late are the people who need dust the most.
It's
so
true.
it's like,
well, like even me, for example. I mean, I'm fine on dust and collection, but I don't have the first 2 seasons because I wasn't there. So, like, I wish there was a way for me to get those. But I do like them kind of being exclusive for the people that were around. So, like, I don't know. I'm kind of split in the middle.
Yeah, I feel good about just having every single season card back, because it's one thing I have that Billy doesn't. So.
Hey, man, you're about to have that legend card back that I don't have.
I do have that one. I'm very proud of that one.
Foreshadowing there, Billy. Nice. Yeah, probably what sold me most on the new heroes is when I was looking at the screen where you can buy them. And they play music for each of them as you select them. And I'm just like, really? I am such a sucker for Warcraft music.
Oh my God. And they're really making it tempting for you to buy them.
I was just clicking on Valeria. No, not Valeria. Illyria.
Yeah, Illyria,
because that's not confusing. I was just clicking on her and it's like, oh my gosh, this is Night Elf music. I have to buy this character.
You realize that music plays while you're actually playing the game as well, right?
Wait, what? It does?
Yeah, it replaces the Hearthstone music and replaces it with that.
Wait, really?
Yep.
Oh my!
For real? You get new music with the heroes?
I'm not positive because I haven't played it, but that's what Vincent told me. Go yell at Vincent, not me.
Vincent!
Oh man, they're really making this hard.
No, that is amazing. I just, it was making me, my plan was, I'm going to buy one of these because I'm a responsible person who may or may not have bought 40 packs recently. Nice. And I'm like, okay, I'm a responsible person and I'll just, buy the one I really want. And I'm like, which one do I really want? I don't even know.
Medivh looks pretty cool. Have you seen his hero power?
Who?
Medivh.
No, I've only seen Magni's power animation.
Okay, so
the Medivh one looks pretty cool. It's like this purple fireball that comes out of it.
Yeah, so the Medivh one looks a lot like the Shadow Form hero power for
That's
Priest.
what I was going to guess, yeah.
It looks a little bit different and the circle is more circular, I guess.
Okay.
And the Illyria hero power actually looks really cool. It's the same as the Hunter hero power currently, but it's a green arrow, and when it explodes, it kind of has, like, leaves and stuff flying everywhere.
Oh, man,
you do have a soft spot for Green Arrow.
I do. That's kind of... Illyria is just, let's face it, Illyria is just a female Green Arrow, and we all know it. So that's why I have to buy it.
I didn't even notice until now that it's your Skype profile pic. I just
absolutely, man. Illyria is awesome.
Yeah, I'm honestly thinking that's the one I'm going to go with. Until I saw her, I didn't realize how much I
feel like you're going to regret that.
Warcraft. You think so?
I think you should go with Magni.
I'm starting to play a lot more Hunter.
I think you should go with Magni. I feel like you're going to regret the Illyria pick.
You think so?
I think so. You're such a fan of Warrior. Like, when I first met you,
Control Warrior,
you were
that's
so
right.
into Warrior, and with Patron and Control and everything. I don't know. I feel like you're going to play a lot more Warrior than you're going to play Hunter, and I feel like you're going to enjoy it a lot more as Magni. But if I'm not going to tell you which one to get, I just feel like you're going to regret this a week from now or a month from now or whatever.
I could buy them both.
You could buy them both, but you specifically just said you're going to buy one because you're a responsible person.
Well, I also am a liar, so, things go hand in hand.
Hearthstone does tend to make you make a lot of irrational decisions sometimes.
Exactly.
So you never know.
So, Billy, you're going to get them all.
Absolutely.
I'm going to get Valeria and Magni, or both.
Do we have word on when the next ones are coming out, or are they just releasing 3 now?
Nothing I've heard yet.
I haven't said anything, but probably next week.
What's your plan, Andres? Just Medivh?
I want to see them all first. I want to see when they all come out, and then I'll probably get like my favorite one, and then I don't know, maybe over time I'll slowly acquire them.
Yeah,
I can see
fair.
that. That makes sense.
Every time you do something really good, you just reward yourself with a hero.
Yeah, I'm not gonna buy it all at once, but I'm sure at one point down the line, I might be sitting at home one night. Maybe I had like a beer or two that night, just playing some games, browsing through the shop, and the heroes are gonna look nice and shiny. Maybe you never know what might happen.
Exactly.
I'm still not a fan of them giving the animation. By the way, I wish that the hero power at least wasn't animated.
Yes. Like, not a fan that they made it like animated the right away. I agree with that.
Yeah, fair enough. So Billy, what you been doing in Hearthstone this last week?
I've been doing a surprisingly small amount of things on Hearthstone. I have been playing a little bit. I mean, I ranked up a little bit with Freeze Mage. I'm currently sitting at rank 13, which is fairly unimpressive considering your guys' rank right now. I hate both of you, by the way. This is the end of this podcast because you're higher ranked than me. I can't stand it. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of other games, so I've been falling behind on Hearthstone. But I've already told myself, don't worry, next season I'm gonna play a bunch of Hearthstone just because I might even go for the Legend, but that's a long shot.
Yeah.
Just because, there's so much stuff happening in Hearthstone. One thing I can't talk about because somebody has it as their topic, but the new heroes and just additional content being added to the game is super exciting, and that's why I'm holding out on it. So next season I can go full force.
You're kind of saving up, keeping track of E3 stuff, catching up with other stuff, so when all this new Hearthstone stuff hits, you can really delve into it.
I have to play Dishonored. That's Dishonored's taking
because
up
someone's
time.
so nice and bought it for you.
I know. Who might that be? By the way,
how do you have such nice friends, Billy? I need to find out how to do this.
So people that missed that, Bryan bought me Dishonored because it was on sale on Steam, and I hadn't played the first one. The second one just got announced at E3, and it was a big thing, and I appreciated it, and I'm playing it.
Sure.
I was playing it right before this show, actually.
Awesome. I was happy to see you playing it. Yeah. So you're like doing a little intro stuff, like the
I've unlocked teleporting now, which is pretty fun.
Okay.
Teleporting.
Blink is the best. Like it changes stealth games, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying
it. So Andres, how's Hearthstone been for you this last week?
It's been pretty good, just same old, just some hardcore laddering here and there. No, but this season I've been really going at the ladder very seriously and trying to rank up really fast, and I got my way up to rank 4 before the weekend on Friday, and then I kind of left it there for the weekend because I was a little busy. But this week I intend to get back on it, and I don't know, hopefully I can make it to Legend this week or the next, but I really want to make it back this month.
Yeah, I have faith in you. I think you can do it. You're at 4 right now still?
I am at 4, yeah. 4 and 4 stars.
I don't mean to rain on your parade. But I'm just genuinely curious, what drives you to go to Legend once you've already got that card back? Is it just the prestige of being Legend? For me, I feel like I wouldn't have any drive to go for it once I had the card back unless I was good enough to easily do it.
I think there's a couple of different things. I like playing the game competitively, and you can't get more competitive than getting to Legend. That's where a lot of the best games are gonna be happening. Even though after a lot of people get to Legend, they do kind of chill and try out different decks. But you're playing with all opponents of very high level, and then not only that, but you run the chance into running really awesome players. Top players like Strife Crow or Brian Kibler, Dice of Time. The couple of times that I've made it up there, I've had a chance to play against some of these players, and it's very exciting. I don't know, I find it cool to just casually be matched against a pro, and you just play against them. It's not like it happens all the time, but you definitely have a higher chance of it happening up there. And then,
and I feel like in terms of setting yourself a goal or a challenge in Hearthstone, in most games, you want to beat the game or something like that. The end game for Hearthstone right now, even though you don't necessarily get loot from it, is getting the Legend.
That's not the end game. It's not the end game. 500 wins with every single class, full collection.
I guess there are multiple ways to play.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways, but still for personal satisfaction of seeing how high I can get in the game. I think my personal record right now is rank 88 Legend. I was there for only a little bit, couple of games, and then I was thrown off. But that's a personal accomplishment.
So is that 88 in the world? Is that how Legend works?
Yep. 88 in the NA server, yeah.
Yeah, not the world. That is really impressive. I actually didn't know you'd made it that high. That's awesome.
Only for a little bit. I wasn't there for too long.
Yeah, but still. And it's when you first come into ladder, based on your performance up until that point, you'll be given a number, right? So you might be able to enter Legend really high.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's not very many people in Legend, if you get early in the season.
The earliest in the season that you get there, the higher the number it'll be. If you get there at the end of the season, you might be 1,400. But if you get there around now, you'll probably be in the top 200 or so, top 300.
Interesting. So yeah, it's been Patron Warrior for you. Is that just like 100%? You just keep doing it, teching against what you see, or do you have like a
this season has been pretty much exclusively Patron Warrior. Just because I really want to learn the deck up and down, and I feel like that's the best way to do it. Just play it a ton, especially at the high level play. And that's just my focus for now. Maybe after this season, I'll jump around other decks. I really want to try that Tempo Mage.
I'm interested in your view on this. Tempo Storm recently put up their new meta report thing, right?
Yep.
And number 1 deck, I'll say number 2 first. Number 2 deck right now is apparently Patron Warrior. That is the number 2 deck right now. And then above that is Control Warrior. Thoughts?
Yes! I actually didn't see that. I'm a fanboy.
So I've been hearing a lot of opinions about this, especially now that the DreamHack tournament happened.
Hold on, just to be clear, not the Dragon Control Warrior. It's actual Control Warrior.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
The classic Control Warrior. Yeah. Yep. If you take it the right way against Patron has a very, very hard time, especially if you know exactly what you're doing. Just because the traditional warrior can gain so much life and can answer Patron's threats pretty efficiently. The only way for the Patron warrior to win is if it gets the board out of control with patrons. But then things like Brawl can really help the Control Warrior bring you back. And I was hearing this a lot, especially now that DreamHack happened. Like a lot of the pros are saying during the commentary that if you take your Control Warrior right and you know what you're doing, it's almost impossible for the patron to finish off the game. So I thought it was an interesting opinion. I think this has more to do at like the highest level of play, right? Like if both players really know what they're doing and they get decent draws.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there.
I think that the meta report is just meant to be for what is objectively the best deck right now to go to ladder with. So they're saying now the best deck for ladder right now is
that was actually the question I was going to bring up. Yeah, I guess the reason I considered Control Warrior, but the reason I decided against it was just like, it's so slow. Like, it take a long time to ladder with that.
It is slow, and it's something very, like, important to consider when you're trying to ladder, especially trying to get the legend.
But I don't think those reports take that into consideration.
Yeah, I think they just take what's going to have the best. What will win the most. I personally would be playing a bunch of Control Warrior right now, but I'm kind of waiting until I can get Magni.
I guess Billy, you probably don't want to say, oh, Control Warrior is the number 1 in the meta. I'll play Freeze Mage. Like, I don't know if that's the right response.
That's a strong point. I've been playing a lot of Freeze Mage. I probably want to stick away from there.
They can just click armor up and win. Kill you with
they don't really need to even play cards. They just tap, tap,
Pretty
tap,
much.
tap, tap.
I think it's also important to note that just because it's the number 1 deck in the meta report doesn't mean that it's also the number 1 most played.
That's very true.
Yeah. Like,
actually, I didn't run across much Patron at all ranking up.
Yeah, like, Patron has been number 1 for a long time, but you really don't see that many patrons on the ladder. You see them occasionally, but it's not like when Face Hunter was the main deck.
Oh, yeah. Still seeing some, a lot of Hunter around.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for me, I've been, so when this whole season started, I'm like, I feel like I either need to really get back into ladder, choose a deck that, I can ladder up quickly with and put my all into it, or really get back into arena. So I'm like, am I going to go with arena, or am I going to go with ranked? And I decided to choose the latter option, and went in with Zulok. Mid-range Zulok actually was exciting me a lot because I used to play Zulok back in the day, and I'm like, this is like in the top 5 and a lot of meta reports. It's fast. I already know a little how to play it, but there's a lot of fun stuff to relearn. So I'm going with that. Like I may have talked about it in the last podcast. I forget where I was when I recorded that, but I just played it, started it one night, and immediately ranked from, I believe it was 17 to 12.
Thought you were going to say nice. And immediately top deck Doomguard. I was like, okay.
Yes. And largely because I kept top decking Doomguard when I needed it. So I just immediately zipped up there, and then I just kept playing, and I kept winning, and it just was consistent. This deck wouldn't lose. It's like there's some really positive curse placed on it by a very nice warlock.
I've just loved the occasional Skype message of, oh, I just top decked Doomguard and won.
It happened in my last game against Hunter. I was dead the next turn. Top deck Doomguard 1 for exact lethal.
That is awesome.
Down to the point.
But yeah, you've been doing really good this season.
Yes, I've been exceedingly happy with it. It's such a fun deck. I like that you're constantly evaluating the board and building your own board presence while also controlling the other person's board. So like, Control Warrior can be a little bit too controlling for me. But then something like Face Hunter I couldn't get into because I just had to ignore the person's board most of the time. And that just gives me stomach pains when I'm playing card games. What I like about this is I'm building my own board and constantly creating this fun variety of threats to have a ton of options to it. But I'm, Bane of Dooming one of their creatures or trading a creature into it or trading my egg into it or hitting them with Implosion. So I'm constantly keeping the opponent at bay while also building up a threatening board and pushing their life total down.
Yeah.
So that combo of play to me is just so much fun.
That deck is like that. It has a lot of versatility with the cards that you have in it. You can play it very aggressively or you can play it very controlly. You have a lot of tools, especially with Implosion, and I think you're running one Shadow Flame, right?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, that gives you a lot of control utility, and then all your little small minions give you a lot of aggression, and it curves that really well. That deck has a really strong curve, especially with the Void Callers. Around the mid game, you have some incredibly swingy turns.
I was so excited about the Void Caller thing that I actually crafted Melganis to put in the deck.
Nice.
Decided that was going to be my next legendary. And it was hilarious. So the first game, I went in and I'm like, okay, I need to do the most awesome thing. So I just started blaring rock metal music in the background and saying, this is going to be my Melganis game, and jumped on ladder and got matched against a Ramp Druid, which terrified me because that's my worst matchup.
Hey, didn't I spectate this game?
No, I told you about it.
Okay. I remember this.
Afterwards, but I haven't told Andres.
All right.
So it was actually getting to the point that I feared he would kill me the next turn unless I played Melganis to soak up some of his damage. It wasn't a good board to play Melganis on, but at least it would stall him. However, the Druid's response to this was to Faceless Manipulator my Melganis and then Big Game Hunter it.
Oh, that hurts.
So my own Melganis literally killed me on my first game with it. So not positive that was the best use of Dust yet, but I'm hyped for future games where he will actually
I think it works really well in that deck. Just because of Void Color, just getting free Melganises out on the board is insane. And then sometimes you have the games where you have Bane of Doom that spawns a Melganis, and then your Void Color brings out another Melganis later on, and it's just your opponents can't deal with that.
Totally. It's a really interesting card. It also, if you Implosion right before playing a Melganis the turn before, suddenly you got a ton of 3/3s, you can tap and not get hurt. There's a lot of cool synergy with Melganis in that deck. So I figured it was worth crafting him. But yeah, this has been the most successful I've been on ladder for probably a year. I got to rank 5, which is my current high score. So my little short-term goal is just get to rank 4, beat my high score from before, get a little bit higher. But my long-term goal is getting to legend. And that kind of leads us into our topics for this week. Every week on Hearthaholics, myself, Andres, and Billy, we each choose one strategic topic that we've been interested in relating to Hearthstone recently. And mine this week is going to be a question primarily for Andres, because you've made it to legend before. What is this climb from 5 to legend like? How long should I expect? What sorts of goals should I set? And how should I prepare for it?
Let's dive into it.
Yeah. So I'm scared, Andres.
Don't be scared. This is the first thing that happens, right? This is the rank where you kind of start getting the ladder anxiety, where before you click the play button, you kind of think about it twice. You're like, am I ready for this? Should I grab a glass of water? Should I watch a stream first, warm up? Should I get a warm up game in? I don't know, this kind of thing. Because honestly, losing a star at this point really hurts, especially because if you want to make it legend, it's just going to make your grind a lot slower.
There's no win streak. I lost, but, when I get a few wins, I'm going to, gain more back.
Exactly.
There's no doing that anymore.
Lost rank 5, each loss means you got to win 2 more to make up for it. So it hurts.
But you made the first step. I think you made it right on time too. I think getting to rank 5 towards the middle of the season, it's a good milestone. Especially if you're trying to hit, go for the gold and get legend. But yeah, it changes a lot from rank 5 to legend. The grind changes up a little bit. I would say this is the point where you really need to start taking it one game at a time. And if you really want to get to legend, I would recommend like doing power sessions. I call them power sessions. It's just basically a time that you set apart. You sit down for an hour, maybe an hour and a half at least, and you don't have anything else to do. You can concentrate on Hearthstone purely, and I like putting on things like music or stuff like that in the background. It helps me concentrate and kind of like get into it.
Don't have tabs on Chrome open. Don't be watching.
Yeah, don't be watching streams and like other stuff, because like you can, but like at this point you really want to start concentrating on your games. Yeah. Because losing one game is gonna set you back a ton of time.
Yeah, I have lost far too many games to Netflix. Way too many.
Yeah, I typically like to play on casual whenever I'm multitasking.
I would say definitely don't play on your phone. Not ladder.
Yeah.
That's no way to get golden heroes though.
No, that's an entirely different process.
Oh yeah. And then also what I was gonna say is, sorry, I lost my train of thought here.
Okay, I apologize. That was my fault.
Yeah, Netflix is even distracting Andres through Billy.
Freaking Netflix.
So a question I had is like, I like to set goals in terms of play so many games or win so many games, but I thought a fun way to set goals is like, I want to be rank 4 by Thursday or something. But does it get slower as it goes on?
Oh, okay. I remember what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I was going to say, realistically, and it pertains to what you were asking me, it's not that many games. Once you get to rank 5, it's literally 25 games you have to win to get to legend. So
easy.
Yeah, it's
just like 2 perfect
sounds relatively easy, but like obviously it depends on your win ratio, how fast you're going to complete these 25 games. I would say take it in like bite-sized pieces. Don't aim for a legend in one day, but do like little milestones, like get to rank 4. That should be like your first little goal now, and take it one rank at a time, one game at a time, just focusing like that. And honestly, it doesn't take that long, especially if you've been doing that good with your demon lock. If your win ratio is high, if you keep winning, you will get to legend in like a sitting or 2. Wow. Where it comes a little complicated is everybody from rank 5 to about rank 2 is really going for it, and everyone's really competitive. They are, learning how to fight different decks. They know strategies. They know how to play their decks. You're gonna run into people making less mistakes, even though people still make them at rank 5.
Yeah.
But much less. They're gonna capitalize on your mistakes much more. So that's why it's very important to be focused and not make as many misplays as few misplays as you can.
Yeah, I've actually never been to rank 4 or higher, so I'm really curious like how the level of play would happen, because I'm still being surprised by like people making pretty obvious mistakes against me, starting to go for face whenever they don't think it's wise, or even just outright misplays. So it'll be interesting to see how that changes going up. What was I going to ask you about? Oh yeah, so do you think would you recommend just sticking with a deck I have a ton of experience with?
I would definitely say you should definitely stick with your deck, especially the Demon Zoo lock that you're using right now. It's very versatile. It can win against a wide variety of decks, and if you know how to pilot it, you know how to play it against different types of decks, you should be better off than switching around to decks maybe you don't have as much experience or you haven't been practicing as much this season, because it does take practice to play a game or a deck right. Knowing all the nuances and knowing what the other person is playing and preparing for that. You need to play a variety of games with the same deck to get a hang for that. And now that you've been playing this deck the whole season, I would definitely recommend you sticking to it, unless for some reason the ladder really becomes anti-Zulok and everyone is taking against you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, and I
don't think it's gonna be the case. The meta is too diversified right now for people to just aggressively tech against Zoo.
And I think I have a way to beat Patron Warrior. I haven't actually run a ton of problems with that. So even though I have a lot of like procs for it and stuff, I think with a couple techs, I'm able to beat it, with Shadow Flame and all that sort of stuff.
And usually if you play smart, you're fine, right? If you are sacrificing your low attack minions before their combo turns, and you're just putting out beefy dudes around those times, putting off enough pressure, and then like if everything goes wrong, you do have that copy of Shadow Flame. That sort of stuff should be fine against Patron. And have you been running into a lot of Patron?
Not too many, maybe like 4 or 5 so far.
Yeah, that's the funniest thing about that deck, that is so good, but is not a common deck in the ladder.
Not really, no.
5 people know how to play it correctly.
Yeah.
No,
and one of them is on this podcast.
It's hard to play. It's a very hard deck to play.
I know. We tried to learn some with Vincent, and it was incredibly confusing.
The other thing I was going to say is about rank 5 to rank 2, it's the most competitive you're going to get. Once you get past rank 2, ironically enough, it gets a little bit easier. It's not going to be a lot easier, but around those ranks, you're matched against a lot of legend players. Also against a lot of low rank legend players. So you might fight like a 900 legend guy or like a 1200 legend guy, which is usually guys that got to legend early in the season and just want to experiment with different decks. They're usually playing, offbeat kind of things or experimental things. They're not playing their main deck that they got to legend with. They're not trying to be super competitive. They're just trying to be, proactive, other stuff, enjoy their time in legend, and learn new stuff. So you usually have an easier time between rank 2 and legend than between rank 4 and 2.
Because the difference between like 900 and 873 legend is different than being not legend to legend. So that's why people are probably pretty competitive around 2.
Exactly.
Or 1. So that's really cool. I'm feeling good. My goal is just get to rank 4. And if things are still going well and I can make the push, I think I'm going to put what time I can to just make this final effort. It's something I really haven't had to think about for a very long time. So I'm pretty excited to see if this will be possible.
Well, you guys were talking about the Demon Lock Zoo. I decided I'm going to take upon myself to look at the Tempo Storm meta report. And they say that this deck isn't very good. This is number 17 on their list.
That's true. I think Tempo Storms I haven't been reading as much. I think Liquid Hearth a week ago had it at like 5. But it could have changed since then.
Yeah. It's funny because the Tempo Storm one and the Liquid Hearth ones agree in a lot of decks, but then some other decks are ranked like wildly different. Like one can be like number 2 in one of them, and the other one can be in like 11th or 12th place. And I think
Midrange Zoo seems to still be at like 4 and 5.
It's very subjective. Like from one week to the next one, like depending on what's around. Like if there's like a very anti-aggro control warrior, then Zulok might lose a ton of spots just because it automatically loses that deck that is maybe very popular that week. But really, it depends. It comes down to what you are running into the ladder. More than what the meta report says.
And here's the little secret about Hearthstone meta in general, which is nobody knows.
Honestly, nobody really knows. These meta reports are just guidelines. I think they're more useful to seeing like what decks are out there, what decks are really good, what's popular, what a lot of people are playing, so you kind of have a general sense of what to expect. But you never really know what to expect.
Yeah. And also, like you touched on before, Andres, what are you good at? Because that's going to be huge. Like, you're going to switching decks every few seconds or every, few matches to counter whatever the meta is. If you play poorly with that deck, it's going to be a lot worse than
I think that's the single most important factor to get into Legend, especially if you want to keep climbing when you reach rank 5. It's more important to know all of your matchups really well. It's more important to know how to play around your opponent's threats accordingly and match them to yours. How to mulligan properly for every matchup. That is more important than playing the best deck out there right now.
Yep, that makes sense. So I guess last question, Andres, do you set like a specific goal for yourself? Like I reach 4 by this day and 3 by this day, a certain number of days for yourself, or you just spend whatever time you can on it?
I usually like setting myself a little bit of goals. Like I said, I at least try to do a rank a day. If I can do better than that, well, good. But at this point, sometimes you run into very tough matchups, And climbing one rank might take you up to like an hour or two, sometimes more if you're really having a hard time. But honestly, if you can climb a rank in more than 2 hours, I would probably take a break and come back at it later. That means that you're like winning a match, losing, winning, losing, winning, losing, and that can be very frustrating. And you wanna space them out, right? You don't want to go for a hardcore 8 hours of laddering and to grind yourself out and then lose a ton of games.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with something like I'll shoot for a rank a day, but if I get half a rank and I'm not feeling it, I can stop for the day, so long as I got half a rank. Because that way I should make it to legend, even if I just did half a rank every day.
Yeah, and honestly, if you're doing good, go for it. If you're winning a lot of matches, I've noticed that it's funny how the ladder works, but some days you jump into the ladder and you win 6 games straight in a row. And you're like, what is happening? Some days you jump in and you lose 6 straight in a row, and you
even the time of day can be different.
with the same deck, and it's all depending on the time of the day, what people are playing at the moment, if they're expecting your deck. It also depends on your mood sometimes. Like, are you thinking clearly at this time? Do you have any preoccupations outside of Hearthstone that maybe don't enable you to play your best of your ability? So when you're actually sitting down and you're on a win streak, capitalize on that. That means that time of the day, your deck is working, and you are also working. You're also thinking straight, doing good decisions. Also learn to recognize when you're playing really badly and you're not at the best of your ability.
It's RNG, gosh darn it!
Exactly. Once you start blaming it on RNG and your draws,
listen,
and
sometimes
you're
it's
games,
RNG.
you should take a break.
just sometimes it's RNG, just a little bit.
Yeah, sometimes it is RNG, and there's nothing you can do. But that shouldn't be the norm. If you lose 6 straight games, it's probably not RNG.
Probably not.
They were just very, very unlucky games, gosh darn it. But yeah, ladder can be stressful. But you know what hopefully won't be stressful?
What is that?
Hopefully won't be stressful, Brian.
Andres' topic this week, which is about the new Brawl mode.
Well, we don't know that yet. It could be very stressful.
That's why
I want to go ahead and take this time to thank Blizzard for naming the new mode after me. Yeah, I really appreciate that.
I mean, it was good enough that they named a card after you.
I know, right? I have a card in the game now, and I also have the new mode. How awesome is that?
That's very awesome. I think I'm going to go with very awesome for that. So yeah, what are the impressions on this mode so far? So all of our predictions were wrong. I'm going to own up to that. However, when I say all, I mean all except one, which was Billy, your prediction that I forget if you said it on the podcast or not. I think you said it on it. That you guessed by the fact that they made that fancy animation for the button coming out. You said, I assume you're going to have to unlock this mode somehow. It's not just going to be there when you open the game. Mm-hmm. Which I said, that's unlikely. And I was wrong. Because
the animation
you totally
just looked crisp to me. So I thought, that's probably going to be an animation in game.
That was good thinking. And yeah, it totally is. And you unlock Tavern Brawl at rank 20. And what Tavern Brawl is it is a mode wherein you play, it ranks you up or matches you up against a random person, but unlike something like casual or ranked, it has a specific rule set every week. So if you've been following like the Challenge Stone tournaments that people have been putting on, it seems a little bit similar to that. And then it'll be like, I don't know, this week it's all unstable portals in a deck, or this week only minions under 5 cost. I don't even know if Blizzard has given specific examples yet, but those are the types of things.
They have not.
They haven't given specific examples, but I think it was Halfpone that data mined new cards specifically for the mode, which
they
saw that is incredible. Now, my question, and I think that maybe these cards are an indication of this, is are we going to be able to play these modes after their week is up?
Oh, I highly doubt it.
No. I think they're only up for the week.
I feel like making brand new cards for this mode is kind of pointless if that's the case. Well, not pointless.
Here's something
but
I'm thinking, though.
A large time consumption. Like that's a lot of time.
I bet those cards, for one thing, will be able to be used in multiple modes. I also bet they're going to repeat modes.
Yeah.
I do not think it's going to be, we have this rule set, it only exists for 1 week. I'm pretty sure they're going to cycle through a set of modes.
I'm sure they'll reuse some of the stuff, but they want to keep it fresh. I just feel like it would be
fairly easy for them to like keep the mode in the game. I don't see what's difficult.
There are a lot of things that can be easy for the Hearthstone team that I feel they don't do because they want extreme simplicity.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of them. But that's a good point, Billy. That's why I think there will be repetition with them. But yeah, so basically what it is, creates a custom rule set. You create a deck for that rule set, using your own cards. And I guess what additional cards they give you. We don't know about that yet. And then just match up against people. Other than playing for the first few matches, I don't think there are any rewards for this. There's no ranking system. They will keep track of your win percentage, which I think is really cool for the end of a given tavern. But yeah, or brawl series. But yeah, just every week it cycles out the mode and you can do it again. One kind of odd thing about it is that it closes for 2 days. I honestly don't know why they do that.
That makes legitimately zero sense to me. Like, I sat down and I thought about it. I sat down and thought about it, and I can't think of why this would, doesn't make sense to me. So,
all right, Andres, I want to hear the sense you have made.
So this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, over there in Team 5, they making, a dedicated division of maybe, a person or two, or, I don't know, a few people who are just going to be dedicated to Tavern Brawls. These guys are going to have to think about the rule sets. They're going to come up with the new cards that are coming into effect and all the whole thing. And I think the downtime they need off is for one patch, the new Tavern Brawl, and take all the elements out. And maybe they want to do a quick, testing of, hey, is this going to be fine? And then have at least, 1 day grace period of, okay, we can do this. No hurry. There's not going to be no, I don't think they want to launch it and they run into a bunch of problems with it. So it gives it, a small little time frame to kind of, test it out and then release it.
But
that's a good point about the infrastructure.
Why can't the old mode be up while you're testing the next mode?
That might be a question of infrastructure.
Yeah,
just the way it's just set up, maybe they're just not able to do it. I'm sure that if they could have zero downtime and not affect them, they would go for that.
I think you're right in how they described it. It was the tavern keepers need time to clean up. It sounds very much like, there's stuff behind the doors that however they have this structured, taking it offline gives them a chance to test it. Because you're right, Andres, that they're probably implementing new content, be it new cards or new rules. So it's changing the code of Hearthstone every week that they do this. So
okay, fair enough.
I agree with you, Billy, that it doesn't make sense. I just don't think we know why it would make sense. It's probably some.
And I think they don't want to just be we have to do all this maintenance stuff and go into detail on that.
I would love to hear
you just have to clean up.
Behind it. I would love the detail behind it. I wish that.
It's probably the one thing I'd change about the Hearthstone team is that they're more open about that sort of stuff. That would be neat.
They're fairly open when they're in an environment to be open, but they're never open in in a public setting like that.
They very much keep up the charade that it's an actual inn.
They do play that out right.
Even Blizzard's tech support messages you as if you're in the world or the Hearthstone one. I don't know. I've never done a tech support thing for Hearthstone, but when I had to do a WoW thing, he said that he had to fight off a group of goblins or something to get this information to me or something like that, and I thought that was adorable.
That's awesome. But yeah, beyond that strange little point, Andres, what do you think of this new mode? A lot of people were expecting tournament. How did it hit you? Is this exciting for you?
So I had mixed feelings when they first came out. I was still excited for it. When I first heard the news, I was like, oh wow, this is completely new, something completely unexpected. And sometimes those are my favorite things, the things I didn't think about at all. They just hit you and they're this is what we're doing. I don't know. That's exciting to me because it's oh wow, this is completely new spin. Let's take the game in a direction where we couldn't take it before. Even though I did want it tournament mode and I was excited for that, I think the more that I think about it, the more I like the brawl thing. Because Hearthstone didn't have anything like this. And I think Hearthstone is such a good game for this sort of thing. Because there's so many chaotic cards and so many fun cards that you would love it to be able to use and bring to your decks and make it count. Doesn't not seem like you're just making a bad deck. That this is...
I feel like it's kind of taking the best of the, the adventures, which is I can build around these bosses and make decks that I never thought of before, and actually use all these cards that I never get to use. But then it's also taking the fun of, facing other people and kind of marrying those two ideas.
Yeah, exactly. And in this mode, you have nothing to lose, right? You're not worried about losing ranks or losing, I don't know, anything. You're just there for the fun. And I think that's exactly what this game needed.
Listen, if
Billy,
they give me a 30 web spinner deck, I'm going to be so happy.
That could be a thing. It could be a brawling week where everyone just get web spinner decks.
That would be so much fun.
I imagine they'll be doing crazy stuff like that. What are your thoughts overall, Billy? Is this like the feature you want from Hearthstone? Is this, you think, what you want the final button to be?
As you guys know, I've been playing a lot of other Blizzard games and a lot of other games in general over this past month. And for me, I was super excited to get back into Hearthstone because everyone was kind of just defaultly assuming this was tournament mode. Mm-hmm. And I was excited to get into like a competitive side of Hearthstone without having to grind out to Legend. And for me, it kind of, at first it hit as if it was like disappointment. But as more details came out about this mode, I decided that I'm actually more excited about this because like the tournament scene for Hearthstone is pretty good as it is. Like I don't think we need an in-game one now that I've had time to think about it. It's going well on its own, and that community is growing on its own. I think introducing more of a fun game mode that could still have a competitive side some weeks. That's the thing about this playlist. This playlist is incredible. Like, some weeks it can be a crazy, wacky, casual as can be mode. And then, like, the next week it can be a super competitive, how do you want to construct this deck? What is technically the best way to do this game mode? Like, there's just so many things they could do with this playlist. I definitely think this is the right direction for Hearthstone over the tournament.
One of the biggest complaints about Hearthstone is, like, between expansions, how static it becomes. So introducing a mode that's constantly changing is really smart. Because it's always going to be making you think about something new. And
every week is going to be new.
And that's really exciting to me. Also, you kind of hit upon this a little bit, Billy. A very small percentage of the people into Hearthstone, there 30 million people, probably more now, playing Hearthstone. Small percentage of that care about tournaments. Care about playing in them, care about watching them, care about keeping up with them. And with so much ranked play focus and arena being extremely stressful and requiring a buy-in to be able to play, like the people who will only want to play this game a little bit or just want to have fun with it don't have a great place to go right now. Even casual mode is sometimes more competitive than ladder. So it's like, it can feel incredibly stressful to play this game. And also, as we've learned from our hangouts, the consistent thing that new players have had the most fun with is the random deck stuff we do, which is just make a deck out of random cards. Because they feel they're on equal footing now, and they can have fun with the game, and they can experiment with their collections without just constantly having to think about how they don't have all of the meta cards and how they're being beaten by a bunch of legendaries. And this, I feel, has the opportunity to offer that kind of experience regularly to people. And be able to play something that's just fun, that isn't, limiting them in any way, and is also giving them equal footing with everyone else in a way, by, making some crazy rules and not just saying, I'm going to run across the same decks that always kill me.
Yep, I agree with all that.
Yeah, I think we're all fairly excited for this game mode. I think it's very healthy for the game, and I think anybody who's disappointed about this needs to look at the game a bit differently.
I'm excited to, I don't know, just like be able to play with some of the cards that you never get to play just because they would never fit the ladder meta game. But with the change of rules, like so many underplayed cards are gonna see play, maybe because they are simply gonna force them into you. Like, hey, you have to use this card or something like that.
Or even just saying like your deck has to contain a wisp, but it's like, okay, let's go Hobgoblin deck.
So like that, or you could like get like web spinner decks and like Hemet Nessingwary or something like that.
And the funny thing is, we're only thinking of, rule sets typically, or not only, but we're thinking mostly of rule sets that either people are able to impose on each other or that Blizzard has done in their challenges. But like, Blizzard could do anything. We've seen that with adding cards. They could change the rules of the game. Like, they could do, I don't know, every battle cry triggers twice.
I would love to see the what's its name? The thing that they had for, I forget what freaking boss it was. They all have such strange names. The boss that reduced every single card in the game to 1 mana, and you can only use 1 mana.
I don't know the name either, but
that would be an amazing game mode for them to play.
Oh my god!
I mean, they already made it, so it's cool because they can take so many of the mechanics from the boss fights and just incorporate them because they already exist inside of the game. They just need to open them into the brawl thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of the adventure mechanics being pulled into this brawl thing.
Or like, what
you know
if
what's
like
actually interesting? They could even like unnerf cards in this playlist.
Yeah.
So like
Leroy costs 2 mana.
Yeah, Leroy could go down back to 4, and Gadgetzan could go back down to 5, and we could play Miracle Warrior again for 1 week only. I mean,
I like that now you instinctively say Miracle Warrior.
Listen, it's an issue. Miracle Road.
It has replaced it for you. But yeah, I'm definitely really excited about that potential. I mean, we're obviously very excited because we run that game night. And this is like the perfect thing for that sort of thing. The social setting.
We were basically already doing something like this, coming up with our own custom rules and like making random decks. So this is more like, I don't know, we got our work cut up for us in our hangouts with this thing.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt that, but I just thought of something great. Like, I know that we just kind of touched on them being able to unnerf cards. But, like, the week they unnerf Undertaker for this game mode would be amazing. I want that
Hunter. But they also ban Hunter at this same game mode.
I would love for them to make some of the boss cards available in this mode so you can play with some of them.
The guy that survives Brawl 100% of the time?
Yeah, like
totally
some of those
thought of that
things.
one.
Oh, man, that'd be so cool. You can put in
that
your
would
warrior
fit Brawl,
deck.
after all. It is Tavern Brawl.
So
cool. What was I going to say about... Oh, yeah. But going to the point of people who do have a problem with this, I understand, like, the disappointment that can come if you play Hearthstone competitively, incredibly sick of ladder.
Absolutely. Like,
and everything points towards the tournament mode.
Yeah, I completely understand that. What's his name? Vincent from the Hangout. He expressed frustration towards this game mode. But that was when it was initially announced. I'm sure he has a different opinion now.
Yeah. And I feel it would be in a similar camp if, again, I didn't have the Hangout stuff that just like this is tailoring to, or the game nights we do. This is like tailoring to what I need.
When I said look at the game in a different way, I wasn't saying you should feel a different way. I wasn't saying that. I was saying you need to understand that the game isn't catered for you 100% of the time.
That's totally the point I wanted to touch upon, is I think people get so caught up in the competitive scene, us podcasters and people who are really into Hearthstone, we watch tournaments, we keep up with what the meta is, et cetera, et cetera. That's all user created. And though Blizzard except for the World Championships, Blizzard supports that, but the game is primarily a fun iPhone game that they want casual players to be able to pick up, learn, and have fun with. And I don't think those people, the vast majority of the audience, have been attended to enough for them to necessarily make high-level play their main focus right now.
I will say that, actually, you know what? I'll talk about that on our next topic. Don't you worry.
All right. Speaking of which, Billy, that was an amazing transition. Let's go into your topic, Billy. You got a topic? You got a topic?
I in fact, you know what? I do have a topic. Obviously there's been a bunch of E3 news, and one of the big news pieces of news for me personally, despite the fact that I had never played any of the Elder Scrolls games, is Bethesda announced a Elder Scrolls trading card game, which looked extremely similar to the Hearthstone trailer. They looked extremely similar if you go back and watch both of them.
Yeah, it's the same style of animation, kind of like the After Effects kind of thing on top of the
they got a lot of motion tracking stuff going on in the trailer. It looks really cool, but very Hearthstone-esque. Not that that's an issue. Also, the title for the card game is like, what is it?
Legends?
It's like Elder Scrolls Legends, and wasn't like the first name for Hearthstone something along the lines of like Warcraft Legends?
Yeah,
I think it was. Oh my gosh, I'm watching this trailer now. This is just Hearthstone.
It is. It looks exactly like Hearthstone.
And this isn't an issue, right? Obviously, the game will have different mechanics, and I don't think you can fault them for going for Hearthstone style if that's what they go for in game, because it's just such a commonly accepted format. With obviously Magic the Gathering being really similar as well. I think that more card games is exciting. And the point I was trying to make just before we came into this topic was going to be, if Hearthstone wants to stay on top, I feel like they do need to start catering to both the competitive scene and the casual scene, because the competitive scene, if they're not catered to, I feel like they'll find another game to go win money. That has like more of a competitive side to it. Where I feel like if the casual audience is kind of let down for a month or two, they won't really go away from Hearthstone because they have the other Blizzard games and they're just kind of connected to everything. You understand what I'm trying to say?
I get that. I don't agree that the competitive scene is more important than the casual, or that the casual.
I wasn't
like.
I
almost think
that.
the casual audience is more fickle because yes, the Blizzard people will stay, but they're reaching a lot more than just the Blizzard people with this right now. I think they're reaching the iPhone people with this. People who have never cared about a Blizzard game are playing this because it's fun.
The point I was trying to make is like a lot of people who have come to Hearthstone have branched out into other Blizzard games because
that's a good point. That's a good point.
That's just, I mean, that's the BattleNet client. That's what that's for. You know, they finish a session of Hearthstone and they get, you know, maybe they're a little bit frustrated with ladder or something, and they're like, oh, what's this Diablo game? I can get a free trial? Oh, cool. I'm going to try that. You know, that's just a lot.
I don't know a lot about the competitive scene, but it seems like they're running into that with, you know, StarCraft. That's not the big thing in competition anymore, and I think it's hurting the game. So it makes sense to Hearthstone. They need to be careful about that.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's in dire straits right now, but like you have so many card games coming out right now that it's something they should keep an eye on. Obviously with the Elder Scrolls, I think that's going to be big. I don't think that's just going to get swept under the rug. I think that's going to have a large player base. I don't think it's going to reach the player base which we have for Hearthstone, but I think that game is going to be pretty big.
I think it's going to be really interesting because, like, Elder Scrolls won't sell it itself. I mean, look at the Elder Scrolls MMO. That's, it's not really a thing, I don't think, for anyone.
Well, they messed up big with their launch on that. Didn't they have, like, crazy stuff going on there with, like, server issues and payments and all this other stuff?
But I think the interesting thing is we haven't really seen another big name enter trading card games since Hearthstone, unless I'm missing something. I don't think anything huge has come out. Like there have been some.
Not right now. I think it's just happening because Hearthstone is. I don't know. It's a pretty recent phenomenon. I don't think anyone expected this game to be as huge as it is today. I think a lot of people were excited when it was about to come out, but nobody thought it was going to become one of the most played games of the time.
And what's really cool about Hearthstone for Blizzard, again, unlike Heroes of the Storm, is they got into this market before there was a big name in it. There was Magic, but digitally Magic is not accessible.
I think they're like different industries, like the virtual card games and the paper Magic. I don't know. They're not in direct competition. I feel like they're kind of like complementary to each other in a way.
Totally agree. So my prediction is that the people entering this market will be more like people trying to compete with WoW. I don't think anyone's going to stick very much compared to Hearthstone.
I think it's going to be kind of what happened with Magic the Gathering. Like back in the day, there was not a big market for this type of card games. And then Magic came out, became wildly popular.
That's a thing that happened.
And I think it like planted the roots for other stuff to come out, and then later on you get things like the Pokemon TCG, even like Blizzard had its own like paper TCG.
The
there's
Warcraft
like Yu-Gi-Oh, all this and like all this other like, you know, card games that are similar but just have a different vibe. I think the same thing is going to happen in the virtual world. Now that Hearthstone had such a big success, a lot of companies are going to follow suit just because there's a huge market for it now. People are looking to find similar content, and I think there's a space for it because you're right, not everyone is into like the Warcraft lore, and a lot of people have vocally expressed like, oh, it'd be really cool if we could have like a StarCraft Hearthstone, or like if we could have like a Diablo version of it, which means that there's people interested in getting like the same kind of experience for this game, but with like different artwork, different vibe, different characters, this whole thing, maybe different features. And I think that's what these other companies can offer. Just like, hey, check this out. This is our own universe. You get some new features. And at the end of the day, it's going to be good for the player base in general. Because you want other companies to coming in and create some competition with Hearthstone so that there's more people experimenting with different ways to approach games like this. Different features can be added. And like a lot of these games feed off of each other, right? Like, people can already see why Hearthstone is so successful, and they're gonna take all those characteristics and kind of try to add them to their game while experimenting with some others, right? Like maybe they can have a more robust ranking system, or they maybe try to go with a ranking system with an MMR style rather than like what Hearthstone does. So it can just help like diversify the whole thing.
Yeah, I think that's your comparison to Magic rather than my comparison to WoW. I think that one's a lot more spot on because MMOs are so expensive to create and maintain, and people only have time for one, and it's such an investment that I think that people getting into that space, it was just so much harder for anyone else. But I think in terms of getting in the trading card games, I think it's going to look a lot more like that does with Magic. There's a lot of thriving, interesting trading card games out there that have different rules, and I mean, it's a great playing field for anyone who wants to play something other than Magic. There are so many great and easy to find alternatives. I think that's going to happen for Hearthstone too, but I think like Magic, because Hearthstone got in the door early, it's going to remain just the thing people go to for digital trading card games because of the quality and the ubiquity of it. And I could also see it kind of remaining as the major competitive one, again, just because it is kind of the ubiquitous thing. It's where people are putting up giant prize pools. It's where you get everyone watching your stream.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just because it's so popular, even if it's not necessarily the most competitive or the best balanced or the best created card game, I think it'll remain being like kind of the go-to place for digital card games, at least for a long time.
I think so too. And they also have the advantage that they got in first. And that is a huge advantage for any company that is trying to get into like a market like this, because that means that they already have all these third parties, like you said, that have already invested a ton of money into it and already have like organized systems, like let's say the ESL or DreamHack or the Hearthstone World Championship. Like these events have already happened, and there's a big precedence for them, and already have a big following, which means that it just makes it easier for people to get into that sort of thing. While other games are going to start from zero, and they're going to have to create their own competitive scene, their own third parties, which bring in a bigger audience and stuff like that. And that takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, and especially people who come in after have the disadvantage that they have to share the pool, while the people who get in first just pretty much created the pool.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very difficult. That's why I don't think a lot of other people are going to reach the size of Hearthstone. But I think we're going to see a much more interesting and thriving community of trading card games in general to choose between.
And I mean, this happens. This happens in every time and in every industry, right? Like when WoW became super huge, there was a ton of MMOs that sparked after that, trying to like get a piece of the pie, right? They want to be part of the success. So it was bound to happen with card games and Hearthstone. But yeah, they were
interestingly. Oh, sorry to interrupt you there.
No, that was my point. Go ahead.
I had a thought. I think the one company that could really challenge them is maybe if like Nintendo goes really hardcore into digital. Like if they took the Pokemon trading card game or a trading card game about all of their properties, because they obviously have access to a lot of expertise in terms of creating and balancing trading card games. They just started making iPad games. If that was like one of their big things as a Nintendo trading card game came out, like I think they're one of the companies with enough weight and enough interest and experience in this field to like really challenge Hearthstone. Because I was thinking about it and like I can't think of a lot of other companies who would be interested in this space and have the same kind of capital Blizzard does to expend on it and to kind of push into it. And I think Nintendo would be a really interesting one to do that.
That'd be quite interesting. I guess time will tell. I would expect a lot of I don't want to say copies, but a lot of games that are inspired on Hearthstone coming up in the next year and so.
Oh yeah, there was already announced there's a Star Wars trading card game coming out as well.
Star Wars, there's that RuneScape one, there's the Elder Scrolls
that RuneScape one. Oh my god, I want that pretty bad.
You're excited for that one?
Yeah, it's not even like a traditional trading card game, which is what gets me excited. Like you use your cards to construct a quest, and then your character goes through the quest. I'm not sure how you win the game, but that's how that works. Your card's like, okay, I have a loot card in my. I'm not actually sure of the mechanics at all, but I'm assuming this is roughly how it works. It's like, oh, I have this loot card in my hand. If I give this loot card to this monster and my character kills this monster, I get this, and then I can use this against this. And you're kind of combating it's kind of almost like PvE in a card game, but you're still versing an opponent. So it's strange, but it looks cool.
Interesting.
So yeah, just like a quick roundtable from all of us here. What are you most excited that's either been announced, or is there someone who hasn't announced a trading card game that would excite you more than any? Billy.
If Dream Scenario DC releases a card game tomorrow and it's exactly like Hearthstone in every single way.
I didn't even think of that angle. Superheroes are in an amazing position to release
Absolutely.
card games.
Imagine Superman flying down as like a legendary onto the board.
Yeah, I'm more excited about Marvel, but hey, either could work.
Marvel
basically
Marvel.
Yeah.
I'd say basically any company that has like a rich like lore and characters it's good to go for this type of like this style of game.
But as far as stuff that's announced, I'm excited for the. That's actually a tough decision. I can't decide between Elder Scrolls and RuneScape, but one of those two.
Andres?
I was gonna say that also the appeal of making games like this is that they're not that hard to make.
I know.
Like compared to
crazy.
like MMOs and stuff like that. Like they're relatively cheap and like you do require a lot of expertise in like the balance and that sort of thing. But like, you know, the resources that you have to put into this game are not that much. You know, you just need badass artwork and like a nice interface, and that's it.
And that can often be lifted from stuff. So like, I mean, in the case of comic books, I think they have enough artwork for their characters.
Absolutely.
They got lots of stuff to go on. Yeah, they got.
So yeah, Andres, what excites you most? Like either something that was announced or that's coming out, or you would want to come out?
I think I would love if they could explore like the other universes of Blizzard. You know, if there was like a StarCraft one or a Diablo one. I don't know. I think it would be pretty cool. Just like
I think they could do that. Like now that they're doing the skin thing, like I think years from now, a while away, like a very very long while away, we'll see stuff like a Nova Hunter skin and stuff like that.
So cool. Yeah, for me, I think of the stuff that's announced, it would be the Star Wars one because I just love Star Wars.
I don't know anything about it. I couldn't even find footage of it when I was looking.
I know nothing either. They just said Star Wars trading card game, and I'm like, sold. Okay.
Was there no like footage or anything?
I don't know. I just saw the announcement article.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah.
Because I watched the Battlefront trailer today from the new Battlefront game that EA is making. Oh my gosh!
Didn't see the trailer because I didn't see the conference because sleeping's important. I had to get at least 3 hours sleep for this.
Definitely check that out. It was 5 minutes of gameplay from the Battle of Hoth, which is the classic Star Wars video game thing to do, and it's the coolest thing I've seen in so long.
I'm opening that up now so I can watch it straight off.
I'm so excited. And the last, and for like that isn't announced, I went over this before, but I think Nintendo making one about all of their shared universes.
I would be into that too.
Smash Bros.
Yeah, like a Smash Bros kind of card game.
Yeah.
It would have to be so simple though.
Yeah, I mean, they made Pokemon. That was awesome. So I can see Nintendo pulling something out.
That's a good point. Pokemon trading card game is fairly complicated, but it's fairly simple at the same time.
Yeah, I would be really excited. And Nintendo's just now making iPhone games, so we'll see if they go that route. I think it's a good position.
That's actually a good point. I imagine they actually are going down that route. Because, like, what made them think, like, iPhone, let's go?
Nintendo was originally a collectible card game company. Like, they made cards before video games. So
it's funny.
I think that in this day and age where your phone is so powerful and you can play so many games on your phone, is just counterproductive to try to get people to also buy like a DS or a like a handheld system, because people nowadays are just not going to do it. Why would they buy a Nintendo DS?
Why would they carry it around?
Yeah,
that's my problem.
I'm going to be unprofessional for a second. We're going to be unprofessional for a second. Wait up.
I like that you announce it.
Got mine right here.
Your DS? And don't get me wrong, it's still cool to have a Game Boy or a Nintendo DS and like play with it, but it's just not like before where if you want to play games on the go, you had to have one of those things.
Like people would just carry Game Boys around.
Your phone has completely replaced that, and I think they see this and they know that their handheld systems are going to phase out eventually.
Yep.
They need to release a Pokemon game for my computer so I can stop buying my 3DSs and my 3DS XLs and all those things.
Oh, you mean like a traditional Pokemon game?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Or for the Wii U. The Wii U is pretty awesome.
Oh man, if they had Pokemon
that
for
means
iPhone, I would be so happy.
It's worth it, man. It's worth it just for Smash Bros. All right, we'll move on here since we need to close things up soon. But I did want to have a very quick listener topic. This one comes actually from Jeremy. He sent one in last week, but he sent in a couple. So we are going to read his other one now. Quick shout out before we do that. I want to go over one from Tavern, is his battle.net name. I've been talking to him for a while, and he had an idea for us. But it was about MMR, basically the hidden MMR in Hearthstone, which is like basically the rank hidden behind your rank of your skill level that compares with other people and decides who you're going to match up with on ladder and casual. He thought it'd be cool if we kind of talked about how that worked and how we would want to improve it. That's something that I think I would want to read about, make sure I have all my facts straight and research beforehand and think about. And I didn't have time for that this last week, but I do definitely want to look into that and discuss it on a future episode.
I think that can be like a wider discussion too, because talking about MMR and how we are going to rank players can be a little more extensive topic, and it pertains to like how the ladder works. If that needs to change, because there is an MMR system in Hearthstone, people just don't see it until they get to Legend.
Yeah, exactly. So just wanted to put that out there. So Taryn, if you're listening, haven't forgotten about that. I want to do it. I just want to do it right. So hoping for next week, we will see what happens. But yeah,
I appreciated that. That was a good line. I want to do it right.
Yes, sir. So we've got one from Jeremy this week, though, and he writes, "Hey guys, I am a competitive player with the time restraints of a casual player. I am the guy who is probably good enough to get to Legend, but doesn't have 45 hours a month to play 270-ish games. What do you guys think of this idea? Every player who reaches at least 100 ranked games each season is assigned a rank based on their win percentage. Anyone with a 65% or better after these games is Legend. This percentage can be adjusted if this is too high or too low. After those 100 games, if you are below Legend, you can still move into Legend by reaching 65%. This Legend ranks could continue to be ranked how they currently are. I feel like this would encourage more thoughtful play since every game matters. More emphasis on the quality of the game played than the quantity of the games played. What do you think?" So yeah, I don't want to go too off topic into like what we think the optimal ranked ladder experience would be, since that's a very long discussion, but just what do you guys think about this specific idea?
I agree with idea. I agree with the points I agree with one of the points and disagree with another point.
Okay, which do you agree with?
I agree with the fact that this would encourage more meaningful and thought out games where speed of the games wouldn't necessarily be such a driving factor as it is now. Because you do require a big time investment to get to Legend. Doing it this way, or if you were ranked based on your win percentage rather than on the amount of wins that you can get in, it would encourage that, and I would like to see that, because right now there's a big emphasis on getting games in fast, just so you can get a big number of games in. But that not necessarily makes for the funnest experience, and you get a lot of decks like Face Hunter being really popular because of this reason.
Yep, exactly.
The one thing I don't agree with so much is as soon as you get a 65% win ratio, you get to Legend. I don't know if that would be necessarily be the best way to do it.
I'd be Legend right now.
Yeah, because a lot of people would be Legends. And then it would be easy to fall off of Legend 2, or once you reach it, are you back in Legend? Or I don't know how it would work.
I guess you could like raise that percentage. I mean, it is after 100 games, and I mean, even I, who have been hitting ladder this month, I don't have 100 games yet. I mean, I've only played. Let me see here. I've played like 53, so I had to play twice as much as I've played so far to get to Legend.
And you'll probably play less than that getting to Legend this time around.
Right. So if you play with a high enough win percentage, you don't necessarily even need to play 100 games. You'll probably get near that or a little above it. So do you think that 100 is enough? Do you just think this idea is flawed, or do you think just like bumping the numbers up could do it?
I think an idea similar to this would work. The same format. I think the numbers are off. And I think that at least 100 games should be decreased, because it would take less than 100 now.
The reason the 100 games I think is, or a number of games is important, is because it needs to get a good sample size, especially in a random game like this. I
understand that, but when you're asking for a time constraint in a month, it's kind of hard. I don't know. I think this is more flawed than the current system, but I think a system similar to this would be optimal.
Yeah, my other problem with this is like, for one thing, to start out, I totally agree with the sentiment that we want to encourage games about the quality rather than the quantity. I probably said that on the show before, but yes. I love that as a Control Warrior fan. I just think that's healthy to encourage varied styles of play, especially that since we're not getting a tournament mode.
Encouraging, like, I don't even know that this is a question, but I'm pretty sure everyone agrees that encouraging quality of game over quantity, that's right. Quantity of game is definitely the way to go, right?
Yeah. So, as for whether this would work, I think another problem I have with it is, like, would this do away with rank 1 through 25? Because that's giving you a feel of progression throughout it. And also, you know you're matching against a rank 8 guy now and a rank 7 guy now. So, like, it kind of gives you I almost feel like it would make everyone who isn't Legend feel like they're doing even less on ladder unless they get to Legend. Like, it's either Legend or not. And this entire win percentage thing just would feel kind of, there's no real feel of progress.
To make this system fair, and keep in mind, this is never going to happen because it's way too complicated what I'm about to say.
Okay.
But the way this would work, if this is the system that's being implemented into the game, is that the way I would have it is you would have rank 25 to 10 work the same way it currently does. And then from there, you implement this MMR system, and then from there, you get Legend.
You know what's really hilarious, though? This MMR system is very similar to the current Legend MMR system, I believe. So it's almost just like having another tier Legend now. So you'd like have 10 ranks.
Yeah, I was about to say. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's too complicated.
So should we just shorten the ladder to Legend?
I think
guess that's one way.
I think the only way to be able to introduce something like this, like we wouldn't be able to use the actual system that is already in place. Like I don't think it would work like with ranks and then go to Legend. I think if you want to implement something like this that is based on win ratio, you have to do something more like StarCraft, which definitely revolves around MMR. And you have leagues, right? So if your win percentage is too high in one league, you get ascended to the next league. And then if your win percentage is very high in that league, you get ascended again and so on until you get to like the Masters or whatever, Diamond or whatever it is, the top league in StarCraft. I don't even know.
I love the ideas behind this. I feel it's close. I think the two things it needs, three things. One thing, maybe it's not high enough of a barrier to Legend, like you said, Andres. Maybe like it's a little bit too easy. That I'm not positive about. The second thing is I think it needs something that gives you measurable progress throughout. Maybe they could like tie ranks to your win percentage or tie ranks to how many games you played, so you like feel that you're getting near that goal. And thirdly, I don't think Hearthstone, it needs to have a way to be clearer. Right now, they just have like, you are an 11 with 2 stars. If they had to say you are 75 out of your 100 games needed to judge your rank and you're at 53 of 65%, that just, it's not the kind of UI I can imagine.
Well, that and also like the matchmaking is a little weird because you can be at rank 5 and get matched against a guy that has an 85% win ratio, or you can be at rank 5 and get matched with a guy that has less than 50% win ratio.
Yeah, so maybe Blizzard needs to take a concept like this, but find a way to put a skin on it that makes it make sense, kind of like they have to Legend ranks. Like you don't see underneath the MMR, but it feels, you know where you stand because of how they present it to you. Like maybe a core of something like this idea could work, but I feel Blizzard's going to have to find a way to make it more accessible to people getting into the game. But yeah, I think that's a really cool idea, Jeremy.
I do agree with you, Jeremy, in that I wish something like this was in place so that we would take off the burden of the bulk of putting a bunch of games in and just playing more like meaningful games. How to do this is not as easy. I'm sure Blizzard has thought about this a lot, and so far this is the best they've come up with. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see if they're bound to change in the future or not. I think it's not an easy problem to solve.
Yeah, because StarCraft system confuses the heck out of me. I can't really predict what's going to happen. Maybe Hearthstone could do something like that and just say suddenly you're gold now because overall you've been playing well enough. And maybe they could go to something like that. But yeah, if you have any thoughts on our thoughts, Jeremy, let us know. Or if anyone else wants to submit some listener topics, just email us at hearthaholics@gmail.com. We definitely want to be able to read more of these on the show. It's a really good way to, hear from people other than just us three repeatedly. So it's awesome. So thank you very much, Jeremy. Thank you again, Taryn, for yours. We have to go over that soon. And thank you in advance.
We kind of talked a little bit about what Taryn's email was too. I mean,
that's true.
Not as in depth, but it is related to his question.
Yeah. Little taste of it. And yeah, that brings us to our outro here. One thing I wanted to mention is last week we talked about tournaments. And I got contacted on Twitter about from the Vicious Syndicate. And we were talking about, entry-level tournaments for people to go into, hopefully open brackets that they could just play every week to kind of practice Hearthstone without, being a full pro player. And it looks like Vicious Syndicate actually runs qualifiers just every week for anyone to join on Tuesdays. It's called Tuesday Night Hype, and you can find it at their website, vicioushs.cards. So just go there, go to the Tuesday Night Hype tab, and you can find all the details there for if you want to just play some tournaments with other people every Tuesday.
I've heard about this before. I think I saw it was Zalay, the Archon guy, who was playing one of these Tuesday Night Hypes. I think I signed up with him because he was streaming his whole run. I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to sign up too and just kind of see how he's doing his run and kind of play mine out. I got to the second round. And then got utterly destroyed. But it was still fun. If you have, if you have a couple hours to spare, if you're planning to go in for the long haul, you need like 8 hours. Yeah. But if you just want a little competitive taste, you need a couple of hours, 2 or 3.
Yeah, and from what I can tell, it is totally open and also free. So just register for it, correct? There's like no entry fee or whatnot.
I think it's completely free. I don't think they charge you anything. And there's small prize pools. I think the winner gets, it's not a lot, but I don't know, like $30 or $50, something like that, depending on the thing.
It looks to me, I'm looking at their website now, and I didn't have time to go fully in depth on this. I just wanted to let people know, but it looks like they have Hearthstone World Cup qualifier points.
Yeah, you win points of it for the qualifier too.
Really?
So yeah, first place gets 10 points.
A free entry, non-invite tournament that gets you BlizzCon points. Is that what I just said?
It doesn't get you a lot of BlizzCon points, but it definitely gets you some.
10 points for first place, second place is 5 points, and third and fourth place is 1 point. And it's every Tuesday night.
I think this is the sort of qualifier that a lot of pros would use to kind of gain a little edge over the other ones, especially if you're not able to participate in a lot of big tournaments. You just slowly acquire them through the ladder and through this type of thing.
And I'm actually, one last thing, I'm not positive it's every Tuesday night. I'm looking at their website, and it seems like the most recent one is June 9th. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. I don't see like a way to register for this Tuesday, but they might have more details on the site, and just follow the Twitter feed and you can find more info there. Let's see here. We got some iTunes reviews, guys.
Yay!
Yay,
Reviews.
iTunes! So I'm going to go ahead and read through these. Our first one here is from Cypher1926. His review deck is, I'm a Hearthaholic. I don't think I could live without Hearthaholics. Wow. You must have had a very rough time up until now, sir. His review reads, even though this podcast is only rated the 1.97359303307257892 best podcast in the universe, it's worth a listen to every episode.
That is awesome.
Twice.
I love that he played with the ongoing joke that we've had for like every single episode.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, sir. That was well played, as the Hearthstone people would say.
Very nice. Thank you so much for that review.
But yes, he says, it's worth a listen to every episode twice. The hosts are knowledgeable, their humor is natural and not forced. Most of all, their love for Hearthstone is apparent in each episode. Subscribe now, you won't regret it. Yes, thank you so much, Cypher, for that. That was awesome. If anyone's listening to this and regretting it now, you can blame Cypher, because he told you wouldn't. So, yeah, that is awesome. And we also have one from 73 Writer, and he says, quality fun. Hearthaholics does a fantastic job of keeping the fun vibe of Hearthstone in their podcast. From the intro song till the end, the production value of the show is as good as I've heard. I look forward to this podcast every week. If you love Hearthstone, give this a listen. So thank you, 73 Writer, as well. Those 2 reviews in 1 week, that is fantastic for us. That seriously made my day getting to read those. So
that's 2 awesome reviews right in the feels.
Yeah, and very well written. You guys are great.
I was reading the Cypher one when I was in the middle of waiting for the group to meet up for the E3 press conference that we were going to watch, which we didn't end up watching, but which we did end up watching. And as soon as I read Cypher's message, like my heart dropped, man. Like you guys are awesome. Reading these reviews like lightens up our day and our week and everything, and it makes this definitely worth doing. And
I am happy to announce, because of all this positive feedback, we are now the 1.9635930307257892 best podcast in the world.
Yes, so, this is all thanks to you, Cypher.
Exactly.
Wait,
thank you, Cypher and Ryder.
Isn't that going down? Oh no!
No. 196. We're up by like.
I thought you said 1976, but you said 16.
No. I got this. We have very detailed numbers. So again, thank you both for that. That was awesome. So obviously you can find us on iTunes. Leave us a review. We, as you can see, very much appreciate it. You can also find us on Stitcher. We are on Twitter at Hearthaholics. You can just search Hearthaholics, Strategies of Hearthstone, and find us, or Hearthaholics, a Hearthstone podcast, and find us on YouTube or Facebook. We also have, we are a part of the Whales Are Whales podcast network. So go ahead and check out whalesareWhales.com to see other awesome shows like this with other awesome people like us. And if you want to talk to us in person, and by in person, I mean over the internet, you can meet up at our Angry Chicken game nights that we put on every Tuesday night. If you're not busy at the Vicious Syndicate tournament, you can check out the subreddit, the Angry Chicken subreddit, which is reddit.com/r/TAC podcast.
Aren't we changing to Wednesdays? You just advertised Tuesdays.
I did advertise Tuesdays. That's actually an announcement we have. Because the Tavern Brawl mode is closed on Tuesdays, we are actually switching these game nights to Wednesdays. Good catch there, Billy.
Yeah, this is important because we do want to take advantage of the Tavern Brawls, and our hangouts were already kind of like Tavern Brawls. We always come up with like custom rules, random weird decks. Yep. So I don't know. I think just the Tavern Brawl system fits really well into our hangouts. So I think we're gonna exploit that, and we're just gonna move into Wednesdays because of that reason.
Totally. So yeah, next week's will be on Wednesday. And you can, if for some reason that changes and we choose Thursdays or something, again, I post details on the subreddit.
Yeah,
so
I guess we'll have to gauge it and see how the brawls work out. But either Wednesday or Thursday, it's one of those days.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, just check the subreddit and there will be a post detailing all the rules and the times and etc. for that. And we will most likely all be there. You can talk to us along with a lot of other rad people. Andres, where can people find you on the internet?
People can find me on Twitter at iPlayGames. You spell that IPLAI Games. You can also find the music that I make, including the intro music to the show, over on my website, massevemusic.com. You spell that MASSEVE music.com. Check it out.
Awesome. And Billy?
You can find me at youtube.com/BrawlyHS. Unfortunately, a huge lack of uploads recently. Not my fault. I've been putting in a lot of hard work for the YouTube stuff, but my internet has been destroying that recently, and it's been very depressing. But trust me, I'm working on it. And you can also find me on Twitter at @BBrawly.
Yes, and partially also because of that, currently on hold for the YouTube stuff we've been putting. If you were looking for a YouTube show last week on the Hearthaholics channel, we are working on getting that stuff back up and running again. But just kind of re-looking at all that, and hopefully we'll start posting videos regularly again in the future. And yeah, if you want to find me for whatever reason on the internet, I'm on Twitter at Lord Meldor. That is LORDMELDORR. And you can find pretty much everything else I do publicly on the internet on whalesareWhales.com. Since I run that, I tend to do a lot of shows on it. So yeah, you can find me there. And that'll do it for our episode. Billy, what's our flavor text this week?
You thought I would actually have flavor text prepared?
Did. All right. Well, I have some, luckily, and this one's going to be a real doozy for people to figure out. So if anyone manages to, know what card this is from without searching it, you have my infinite respect. Mal'Ganis doesn't like being betrayed, so if you discard him, watch out.
Let's the hunt.